Let me just read you something. I just want to know if you agree with this or not. This should be simple. Here's a statement. The demand to center Israel's right to self-defense, that's in scare quotes, self-defense, erases the colonial context and delegitimizes the Palestinian right to resistance. We are in awe of the Palestinian struggle to resist violent occupation, removal, erasure, and the expansion of Israeli settler colonialism. Do you agree with that, yes or no? I realize you didn't write it, and you may not know who the author is, may never have heard of these people before. I just want to know, does this represent your view, yes or no?
Senator, any attempt to justify what happened on October 7th, I have absolutely no...
Well, that's not the context here. This is talking about any discussion of Israel's right to self-defense erases the colonial context. It's calling Israel a colonial state. So could we just answer my question? Do you agree with this, yes or no?
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm diving into a tense and thought-provoking exchange that went down in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Josh Hawley grilled a judicial nominee, and trust me, it was something you don't want to miss. So here's the scoop. Hawley was questioning the nominee about their ties to an academic center that made some pretty bold statements about Israel. They called Israel a violent settler colonialist state and even questioned its right to self-defense. Now Hawley's main goal? To get a straightforward condemnation of these views. Hawley kicked things off by reading a statement from the center's director. Simple enough, right? He asked, do you agree with this, yes or no? Sounds clear-cut, but the nominee dodged the question. Things heated up fast. Hawley pushed harder. Why can't you just say no?
I don't have the historic or regional expertise.
Sounds like a maybe. That's a maybe? Maybe you agree? Can we get a yes or a no?
Each say this is a policy question or a question for foreign expert.
Wait, that's what I don't understand. By the way, this was written by the director of the center you sat on the board of, that you advised. This is the director, not some random professor, the director, who published it in an open letter. So when you say it's a policy, what's the policy about calling Israel a violent settler colonialist state? Why is that a policy question?
Senator, that is not a statement that I had any involvement with.
Okay, good. So would you condemn it then? You say this does not represent your views.
Senator, I have no basis as a judicial nominee to cast views on the Middle East or what does or does not happen there.
You're not answering my question. I'm asking you whether this individual who said that Israel was a violent settler colonial state, I'm just trying to get you to say, do you agree with that or not? And I've asked you now 4 different times, 4 different ways. You're not answering me. Why is that? Why can't you just say, no, I don't agree with this? Let's try again.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this statement, yes or no?
Senator, in order to agree or disagree with any statement, I need to have a sufficient factual background to assess it.
So in other words, you can't say whether or not Israel is a violent colonial state. You think that's a difficult question?
Oh, God. That is not an issue with which I have any expertise.
Is the Holocaust also a difficult question? Does that need context?
No.
Is that a policy question?
I am quite happy to address the Holocaust, Senator.
Why aren't you happy to address this then? Why is it that an individual in the center that you directed who calls Israel a violent colonialist state, those are racist comments, why can't you condemn that? I don't understand it. You won't answer my questions, you won't answer Senator Cruz's questions, you wouldn't answer Senator Kennedy's questions. I don't understand why this is complicated.
Senator, I'm Pakistani. I didn't grow up in the Middle East.
I didn't either. I didn't either, but that doesn't mean that I can't say that somebody who says that a Jewish state is a violent colonialist enterprise is wrong. This isn't a policy question, it's a moral question. This is a moral...
Is this not a moral question? But the nominee kept sidestepping, claiming they weren't an expert on Middle Eastern issues. Hawley wasn't having it. This wasn't just about policy, it was a moral showdown. Hawley pointed out that the center's rhetoric has real-world consequences. Jewish students on college campuses are facing harassment, and this kind of language doesn't help. Hawley framed it as a moral issue, not just an academic one. He argued that such rhetoric fuels division and causes real harm, students feeling unsafe and marginalized. And honestly, whether you agree with Hawley or not, the core issue is undeniable. Leadership comes with responsibility. Silence in the face of harmful rhetoric isn't neutrality, it's complicity. The nominee's defense, They weren't aware of the statements and didn't think it was their job to investigate or condemn them. Hawley wasn't letting up. He fired back. Don't you have a moral obligation to know? It's a tough point to argue against. If you're on the board of an organization, aren't you responsible for its actions and rhetoric? In the end, the nominee's final response didn't satisfy many. But this exchange wasn't just about one nominee. It's about the bigger questions we face as a society. How do we hold our leaders accountable? Where do we draw the line between free speech and harmful rhetoric? And how do we ensure that campuses and communities are safe for everyone? Thanks for tuning in and being part of this crucial discussion. If you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up, share it, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth breakdowns. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay curious. See you in the next video.